You said in past lecture that for one who wants to take up bhakti, the work that you're engaged in is non-stop. This has been a source of confusion for myself and maybe other people. Could you sort of delineate what is meant?
So that when you take up bhakti, your work does not stop. So it's confused.
No. Bhakti, that's what we are defining. Bhakti, definition of bhakti means Undamili asta sunam jnana karma apratam arupujena krishnanu sunam. That is bhakti. Try to understand what is bhakti. You are following me or you come with? You come forward. You come forward. Try to understand what is bhakti. Bhakti means you will have no other desire than to satisfy Krishna. That's like Arjuna. Arjuna satisfied Krishna by fight. And he never. In the battlefield, Arjuna was hesitating. What is the use of killing my own men, my family men, my brother, my nephew, my grandfather, all on the other side? And you have to fight with them and to kill them. So he was hesitating. He was a warrior, very great warrior, he knew. When I fight, I can kill them. Although they have come to fight with me, they do not know. But I know they are my men. So why shall I fight with them? Let them enjoy. I don't want. That was the feeling. But after understanding Bhagavad Gita, when he came with understanding that it is his duty to satisfy Krishna, so he sacrificed his own conviction that he will not kill his men. He satisfied Krishna by the same heart. He was a warrior. So he did not change his position. After reading Bhagavad Gita, he did not become a Vedantist or went away to Himalaya for yoga practice and gave up fighting, practicing. No, he did not change. But he changed his consciousness. That is what. Our present moment of consciousness is that we are working for our own senses. When this consciousness will be changed, that we have to work for satisfying Krishna, then our life will go. We have got to change your work or position. But when you understand that you have to work not for your personal self-gratification, but for satisfaction of Krishna, then it's so there is no question of changing your position. Changing your consciousness. Then
That's no question.
first of all, this is clear. Bhakta does not mean that we'll have to change everything. No, he hasn't got to change it. Simply he has to change his consciousness. This is good. Change his consciousness in favor of Krishna. I am acting now. I like this to do. This is all. I like to eat like this. I like to sleep said, material position means my life. And spiritual position means Krishna's life. That's all. I agree to the Krishna's life. Material position means I simply want to satisfy my life. Therefore, Krishna consciousness means to change this mentality. My life. But to accept the principle of satisfying Krishna. So bhakti means to act according to Krishna's life. Is it clear? It does not mean change of place, change of occupation, change of mentality.
What if you're engaged in some occupation that Krishna does not like?
What if you are engaged in some occupation which Krishna does not like?
That you have to learn from the Krishna's representative. What he likes, what he does not.
You should accordingly give it up immediately.
Therefore you have to accept spiritual mantra. Jasya prasadat bhagavat prasad. If the spiritual master is pleased, then you know Krishna is pleased. If the spiritual master is displeased, then you know that Krishna is displeased. You cannot be in contact with Krishna at the present moment, in the beginning. Therefore, you require the help of Krishna's representative to learn whether Krishna is pleased or Krishna is not pleased. But your business is to please Krishna.
I'm not living in the temple now, I'm working. So, what should my activities be like?
You should make your home a temple. What is the difference between temple and home? This is a temple. Next house is a house. This is also made of brick and stone. That is also made of brick and stone. But it is called temple because here the business is Krishna. And that is called house because there is no Krishna business. So if you make your house Krishna business, then that is also temple. You do the same thing at the members here and with your apartment, in your house, with your wife and children. You are independently, spend independently, but do it for Krishna. Then your house is there. That we want. Here the temple means like simply giving example how to live. So this example can be followed everywhere. Every house can be turned into a temple. Yet everything is Krishna centered. Similarly, if in your home you make Krishna centered, not you centered, then your home is also centered.
Krishna to be the supreme controller of all activities in the material world.
Krishna does not allow himself. Krishna says that I am the father of every living entity. Just like father, he has got 10 sons. Some of them are like animals. But those who are advanced in knowledge, if such sons request the father that my other brothers are useless, let us kill them and eat. Will the father agree? Will the father say, yes, these sons are useless, you kill them and eat? Will the father say? So Krishna has no sons and morality. We are violating the laws of Krishna, therefore we are becoming entangled in sinful activities. We are doing it. Krishna does not say. Krishna says, ahimsa, amanitam, adamritam, ahimsa, kanti, arjavam. These are the qualities to be developed. You cannot be violent. You cannot kill anyone. This is violence in a God's law. Just like in the Bible, it is stated, thou shalt not kill. So those who are killing, they are violating the laws of God and become, liable to punishment, criminals. Krishna does it. The government does not say that you kill your fellow. If you kill, then you will be hanged. The government says. But when you kill your fellow man, it is your responsibility. It is not government's responsibility. Similarly, when you kill another fellow living being, that is your responsibility. It is not Krishna's responsibility.
Prabhupada, I've heard different procedures for acquiring a mate Krishna consciousness. What is the procedure now? I understand it's been changing.
Our procedure, we are asking everybody to chant Hare Krishna mantra. That simple thing will help you in every respect. Chant Hare Krishna. Then gradually you will lack in all other subjects. And you will do it yourself. Make association with devotees. Chant Hare Krishna. This is all.
In your books you explain that we're in the Kali Yuga age. Is the Kali Yuga age coming to a close now?
No. It will continue for another 427,000 years. The age of Kali Yuga is 432,000 years. Out of that, we have passed only 5,000 years. The balance is 427,000. And it will become condition of society, world will be worse. Not better, but worse. In the last stage of review, there will be no food grains, no milk, no fruits. So very horrible time. People will kill their own children and eat just like animals. So last stage of religion is like that. So before coming to that stage, better to take Krishna consciousness and go back to Krishna. That is all. We don't wish to wait for the worst thing. The worst things are already happening. It will be
consulting the authorities as to what should be done.
What should be done? That we are practically doing. You do certainly. We are talking of Krishna from so many books. We are thinking of Krishna, we are chanting of Krishna, we are eating Krishna's prasad. Our whole day and night is engaged in Krishna's business. This is true.
Which one you are right? These yogis are Brahmans? No.
This is Munir Sadhu Krishna.
Yeah, next one.
Sa sa vai pungsam karo dharmo yato bhakti adhokshaje bhavetu kya pratiyata yadma suprasidati
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Yato Bhaktir Dokshaje
Yato Bhaktir Dokshaje
Ahoy Tukya Pratiyata
Ahoy Tukya Pratiyata
Yadma Suprasidati
Yadma Suprasidati
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Yato Bhaktir Dokshaje
Yato Bhaktir Dokshaje
Ahoy Tukya Pratihata
Ahoy Tukya Pratihata
Yadma Suprasidati
Yadma Suprasidati
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Yato Bhaktir Dokshaje
Yato Bhaktir Dokshaje
Ahoy Tukya Pratiyata
Ahoy Tukya Pratihata
Yadma Suprasidati
Yadma Suprasidati
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Yato Bhakti Adhoksaje
Yato Bhakti Adhoksaje
Ahoy Tukya Pratihata
Ahoy Tukya Pratihata
Yatma Suprasidati
Yadma Suprasidati
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Yato Bhaktir Dokshaje
Yato Bhakti Adhoksaje
Ahoy Tukya Pratihata
Ahoy Tukya Pratihata
Yatma Suprasidati
Yadma Suprasidati
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Bhaktir Dokshaje
Yato Bhakti Adhoksaje
Tukya Pratihata
Ahoy Tukya Pratihata
Yadma Suprasidati
Yadma Suprasidati
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Yato Bhaktir Dokshaje
Yato Bhakti Adhoksaje
Tukya Apita
Ahoy Tukya Pratihata
Yatma Suprasidati
Yadma Suprasidati
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Yato Bhaktir Dokshaje
Yato Bhakti Adhoksaje
Tukya Pratihata
Ahoy Tukya Pratihata
Yatma Suprasidati
Yadma Suprasidati
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Yato Bhakti Dokshaje
Yato Bhakti Adhoksaje
Tukya Pratihata
Ahoy Tukya Pratihata
Yatma Suprasidati
Yadma Suprasidati
Ready?
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Yato Bhaktir Dokshaje
Yato Bhakti Adhoksaje
Ahoy Tukya
Ahoy Tukya Pratihata
Yadma Suprasidati
Yadma Suprasidati
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Savai Pungsang Paro Dharmo
Yato Bhakti
Yato Bhakti Adhoksaje
Dokshaje Ahoy Tukya Pratihata
Ahoy Tukya Pratihata
Yatma Suprasidati
Yadma Suprasidati
I think this answers have come this Prabhupada. Bhakti So, what meaning?
Saw
Saw
that by
certainly
Pungsang
for mankind
Paraha sublime
Dharma
occupation
Yataha
by which
Bhakti
devotional service
Adhokshaje
unto the transcendence
Ahoituki,
Ahoituki,
causeless,
causeless,
apratihata,
apratihata,
unbroken,
unbroken,
jaya,
jaya,
by which
Atma,
self, supersedati, completely satisfied. Translation: the supreme occupation or dharma for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted in order to completely satisfy the self.
So, sabai punsam paro dharmo jato bhakti ladho khaji ahitukya pratihata sayatma suprasidati. Everyone is seeking satisfaction, authentic truth. Everyone is struggling for existence, for the ultimate happiness. But in this material world, although they are thinking by possessing material wealth, they will be satisfied, but that is not the fact. For example, in your country, you have got sufficient material opulence than other countries, but still there is no satisfaction. In spite of all good arrangements for material enjoyment, enough food, enough nice apartment, motor cars, roads, and very good arrangement for freedom in sex, and good arrangement of defense also. Everything is complete, but still people are dissatisfied, confused, and younger generation, they are turning to hippies, protest or dissatisfied because they are not happy. I have several times cited the example that in Los Angeles, when I was taking my morning walk in Beverly Hills, many hippies were coming out from a very respectable house. It appeared that his father, he had a very nice car also, but his dress was hippie. So, there is a protest against the so-called material arrangement. They do not like. Actually, we cannot be happy by material prosperity. That is a fact. That is also stated in Srimad Bhagavatam. Prahlad Maharaj says to his atheistic father, his father was Hiranyakashipu. Hiranya means gold, and Kashipu means soft bed, cushion. That is material civilization. They want very soft bed and the bed companion and sufficient bank balance money. That is another meaning of Hiranyakashipu. So, he was not happy. Hiranyakashipu was not happy. At least he was not happy that his son Prahlad was becoming a devotee of the Lord, which he did not like. So, he inquired from his son that how you are feeling. You are a small boy, child. How you are feeling so much comfortable despite all my threatening. So, what is your actual asset? So he replied, my dear father, Nati vidushartha gatim Vishnu. Foolish person, they do not know that their ultimate goal of happiness is Vishnu, God, the Supreme Lord. Durasaya bahirarthamanina. Durasaya. Hope against hope. They are hoping something which is never to be fulfilled. What is that? Durasayaji bahirarthamanina. Bahirartha. Bahi means external. Artha means internal. So, those who do not know that the ultimate goal of happiness is Vishnu, they think that by adjustment of this external world, because we have got external and internal. Externally, we have this body. Internally, we have soul. Everyone can understand that I am not this body, I am soul. I am covered by this body, and as soon as I go away from this body, the body has no meaning. It may be a very important soul's body, a great scientist's body, but the body is not the scientist. The soul is the scientist. The body is instrumental. Just like I want to catch something, so the hand is my instrument. Therefore, in Sanskrit world, these different parts of the body, limbs, they are called koron. Koron means acting, by which we act. Koron. So, Nati vidushartha gatim Vishnu. We are now illusion under the concept of this body. That is also described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Jasyatma buddhi kunape siddhatuke. Atma buddhi kunape. Kunape means bag. This is a bag of bones and muscles and skin and blood. Actually, when we dissect this body, what we find? A lump of bone, skin, and nerve, intestines, and blood, pus, nothing else. So, kunape siddhatuke. These things are manufactured by three dhatu elements, kapha, pitta, vayu. Kapha, pitta, vayu, and air. These things manufacturing, these things are going on. After eating, these three things are being manufactured. And if they are in adjustment, parallel, that body is healthy. And if there is more or less, then there is disease. Now, according to Ayurvedic, that is also Ved. Ayu means span of life, and Veda means knowledge. That is called Ayurveda. So, this Vedic knowledge of the span of life is very simple. They don't require pathological laboratory, clinic, no. They require simply to study these three elements, kapha, pitta, vata. And their science is to feel the pulse. You know, every one of you, that the pulse is moving, tick, 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 like this. So they know the science. By feeling the beating of the pulse, they can understand what is the position of these three elements, kapha, pitta, vata. And by that position, constellation, in the Ayurveda, there are if the symptoms, if these veins are moving like this, heart is moving like this, beating like this, then the position is this. As soon as they understand the position is this, they verify the symptoms. They inquire from the patient, do you feel like this, do you feel like this? If he says yes, then it is confirmed. The inner things, how the pulse is beating and the symptoms are confirmed, then the medicine is ready. Immediately take the medicine. Very simple. And formally, every Brahmin used to learn these two sciences, Ayurveda and Jyotirveda. Jyotirveda means astronomy, astrology, not astronomy. Because any other, the less intelligent than Brahmin, the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, the Shudras, they would meet the Brahmins for health and future. Everyone is very inquisitive to learn what is future, what is going to happen next. And everyone is concerned with the health. So Brahmins, they would simply advise about health and the future. So that is their profession. People give them eatables, cloth, so they have nothing to do for working outside. Anyway, this is a long story. So, this body is a bag of the three elements. Jashanto buddhi, gunape dhatuke.
Maybe you should be taken out. Please take the baby out.
Take baby. So Bhagavad says, Jashanto buddhi, gunape dhatuke. I am not this body. This is a vehicle. Just like we ride on a car, drive car. I am not this car. Similarly, this is a jantra, car, mechanical car. Krishna, or God has given me this car, I wanted it. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Ishara sarvabhutana riddeshe Arjuna tishtati. My dear Arjuna, the Lord as Paramatma is sitting in everyone's heart. Brahman sarvabhutani jantrarudhani mayaya. And he is giving chance to the living entity to travel, to wander, sarvabhutani, all over the universe. Jantrarudhani maya. Riding on a car, driving a car, given by the material nature. So actually our position is that I am soul. I have been given a nice car. It is not a nice car. But as soon as we get a car, however rotten it may be, we think that it is very nice. And identify with that car. I have got this car, I have got that car. One forgets, if one drives a very costly car, he forgets himself that he is a poor man. He thinks that I am this car. This is identification. So jasyatma buddhi kunapeti dhatake sadhik kalatradi subho ijjadi. One who thinks this body as himself, as self, and bodily relation, sadhik, they are my own. My brother, my family, my nation, my community, my society, so many things, mine, I and mine. Misconception of I as this body and misconception of mine in relationship with body. Jasyatma buddhi kunavetu dhati sadhik kalatra disu bhaumaijjati. Bhaumaijjati. Bhumi means land. Ijjati. Ijja means worshipable. So, at the present moment it is very strongly conceived that I am this body, I am American, I am Indian, I am European, I am Hindu, I am Muslim, I am Brahmin, I am Kshatriya, I am Shudra, I am these, those, so many. This is very strong. And Bhoma Ijjati, and because I am identifying to a certain type of body, and where from the body has come out, the land is worshipped. That is nationality. So, jasyatma buddhi kunapeti dhatuke sadhik kalatradisu bhoma ijjati jaktirtha buddhi salile. And tirtha, place of pilgrimage, we go, we take bath in the river. They the Christians, they take bath in the Jordan river. Or Hindus, they go to Haridwar, take bath in the Ganges, or Vrindavan, they take bath. But they think by taking bath in that water, his job is finished. No. Actually, the job is to go to such pilgrimages, holy places, to find out, experience spiritual the advanced men, because many spiritually advanced men, they live there. Therefore one should go such places and find out the experience transcendentalists and take lessons from him. That is really going to pilgrimage. Not that simply going and take bath and business finished. No. So, jasyatma buddhi kunapeti dhatuke sadhik kalatradisu bhaumaijjati jaktirtha buddhi salile na karati ched janesu abhigneshu. Abhignes, one who knows. We should approach person who knows things very well. Avijna. Krishna is avijna, sarat. Similarly, Krishna's representative is also avijna, naturally. If one associates with Krishna, if one talks with Krishna, he must be very avijna, very learned. Because he takes lessons from Krishna. Therefore, Krishna's knowledge is perfect. Therefore, because he takes knowledge from Krishna, his knowledge is also perfect. Avidya. And Krishna talks. It is not that. It is fictitious. No. Krishna, I have already said that Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart. And he talks with the bona fide person. Just like a big man, he talks with some bona fide person. He doesn't waste his time talking with nonsense. He talks, that's a fact, but he does not talk with nonsense. He talks with the bona fide representative. How it is known? It is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Tesam satadujuktanam, who is bona fide present. Tesam satadujuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam. Buddhijogam dadanitam. Krishna says that I give him intelligence. To whom? Satadujuktanam, those who are engaged 24 hours. In which way he is engaged? Bhajatam, bhajan, those who are engaged in devotion and service. What kind of devotion and service? Priti purvakam, with love and affection. One who is engaged in devotion and service of the Lord, in love and devotion. What is the symptom of love? Love. The symptom, the prime symptom, most important symptom of love is that the devotee wants to see that his Lord's name, fame, etc. become widespread. He wants to see that my Lord's name be known everywhere. This is love. If I love somebody, I want to see that his glories are spread all over the world. And Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Nacha tasmat manusyeshu kaschit me priyakrittam. Anyone who preaches his glories, nobody is dearer to him than that person. Everything is there in the Bhagavad Gita. How you can love, what are the symptoms of love, how you can please God, how He can talk with you, everything is there. But you have to take advantage. We read Bhagavad Gita, but by reading Bhagavad Gita I become a politician. So what kind of reading Bhagavad Gita? Politician is there, of course, but the real purpose of reading Bhagavad Gita is to know Krishna. If one is Krishna, if one knows Krishna, he knows everything. He knows politics, he knows economics, he knows science, he knows philosophy, he knows religion, he knows sociology, everything. Tasmin vigyate sarvamedam vigyatam bhavanti. That is the Vedic injunction. If you simply understand God, Krishna, then everything will be revealed to you. Because Krishna said, Buddhi yogam dadamitam. If Krishna gives you intelligence from within, who can excel you? Nobody can excel. But Krishna can give you intelligence, provided you become a devotee, to a lover of Krishna. Tesang satadujuktanang bhajatang priti purvakam. Buddhi yogam dadamitam. And what is that buddhi yoga? What is the value of buddhi yoga? That buddhi yoga or bhakti yoga, the value is jenamam upajanti. Such buddhi yoga, such intelligence will get him back to home, back to God. Not that by such intelligence he will go down to hell. That is material intelligence. Adanta govi disatanta misram. Everything is discussed in Bhagavad. For the materialist person, adanta govi. Adanta means unbridled, uncontrolled. Go means indriya or senses. Materialistic person, they cannot control their senses. They are servant of the senses, go das. Go means India and das means servant. So, when you come to the position of controlling the senses, then you become Goswami. That is Goswami. Goswami means controlling the senses, who has completely controlled the senses. Swami or Goswami. Swami also means that, and Goswami also means the same thing. Generally, Adantagobhi Visatantamisram. Uncontrolled senses, they are going. It is not that Krishna is sending them. He is making his own path clear. Either back to home, back to Godhead, or go glide down to the darkest region of hell. Two things are there. And that opportunity is in the human form of life. You can select. Krishna, as he inquired from Arjuna, whether your illusion has been dissipated now, after परमंश परिव्राजकाचार्य शतर सदस्यमान भक्तिवेदांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। पूर्ण वैष्णववृंद की जय। रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपनाथ श्याम खंड राधा खंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। यमुना माई की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय। और ग्लोरी टू देयर समर्थ। और ग्लोरी टू देयर समर्थ। और ग्लोरी टू देयर समर्थ। थैंक यू वेरी मच। श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड वृंदावन धाम की जय, न्यू वृंदावन धाम की जय, अवैध भक्तवृंद की जय, गंगा माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, यमुना माई की जय। All glories to God. All glories to God. All glories to God. Thank you very much. Oh. Good.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 7. Vasudeve,
Vasudeve,
Bhagavati,
Bhagavati,
Bhakti Yoga,
Bhakti Yoga,
Prayojita, Janayati,
Janayati,
Ashu,
Vairagyam,
Jnanam,
Cha, Yad,
Hoitukam, Vasudeve Bhagavati, Bhakti Yoga Prayojita, Janayati Ashu Vairagyam, Jnanam Cha Yada Hoitukam, Vasudeve Bhagavati, Bhakti Yoga Prayojita, Janayati Ashu Vairagyam, Jnanam Cha Yada Hoitukam, Vasudeve Bhagavati, Bhakti Yoga Prayojita, Janayati Ashu Vairagyam, Jnanam Cha Yada Hoitukam, Vasudeve Bhagavati,
Prayojitaha Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayati Ashu Vairagyam Janayati Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Tadrahaitukam Jnanam Tadrahaitukam Vasudeve Bhagavati Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayati Vairagyam Janayati Vairagyam Jnanam Tadrahaitukam Jnanam Tadrahaitukam.
Anyone? Any lady? So, yesterday we are discussing what is the first class religious system. Savai Purusha Paro Dharma, Jato Bhakti Adhokhari. The test is, people are very much enthusiastic to fight. My religion is better. I am Hindu. Our religion is very good. Somebody says, no, we are Christian. Our religion is very good. Somebody Mohammedan. This fighting is going on. In European history, there was fight, crusade between religious groups. In our country, in India, there was fight between Hindus and Muslims. So what is the meaning of this fight? Actually, when one is God conscious, he knows God, then where is the chance of fighting? Jasadevi Parab. Because one should be, if actually one is God conscious, Jasasti Bhakti Bhagavati Akinchana, the Vedic literature gives us information that actually if one is a devotee of God, God is one, God cannot be two. It is not that Hindus have got one God and Christians have got another God. No. God cannot be two. Then there cannot be any competition of God. I am God. Just like nowadays it has become a fashion. So many gods, rascals are coming. I am God. He says, I am God, I am God, I am God. How many gods are there? No. God is one. Eka Brahma Dvitiya Nasti, that is the basic injunction. Just like the sun. Sun is one. From our practical example. You cannot say that this is American sun and this is Indian sun or this is African sun. Sun is one. See, a creation of God is one and it is so powerful. Sun is one of the creation of God. There are millions of suns. We can see one only. So, if one sun created by God can do so much work, can distribute so much heat and light, just imagine how much powerful is the creator of the sun. This is common sense. So, we get information from Bhagavad Gita. Important will continue. Aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravartate iti matya bhajanti mam buddha bhava samannita. Aham sarvasya prabhava. Whatever we see, whatever there is, they are all emanation from God. That is the BHAKTIVEDANTA Sutra also. Simple. If you want to know what is God, the Vedanta Sutra informs us in 2 words. Very simple. God, or the absolute truth, is that who is the source of everything. Janmadasya jataha. The original source from whom everything is coming is God. Very simple definition. Anyone can understand. If you find out, that is our philosophy means to inquire. Athata Brahma Jignasa, to inquire. Now this life, this human form of life, is especially meant for inquiring about the absolute truth. In animal life we cannot do. There are big animals, tigers and lions and elephants, and big trees also. They are also living entities. Big whale fish within the ocean, very gigantic. Big mountains. Mountains have got also life. But they cannot inquire about God. That is not true. You can inquire about God in this human form of life. Therefore, in any civilized society, there is an inquiry of God. That is called religion. One maybe, or in degrees there may be different. Just like in India, they are also making inquiry. Not now, not at the present moment. They are given up. But hundreds and thousands of years ago, not thousands, even 200 years ago, India was so inquisitive about inquiring about God. Even one Chinese gentleman, he has written one book, philosophical, that is recommended. I forgot the name, title of the book. That is studied in New York University in the religion class. In that book he has written that if you want to know about God, if you want to know about religion, then you must go to India. Yes, that's a fact. Because in no other country the great sages and saintly persons engage themselves so seriously about understanding God. Therefore, the Vedanta Sutra is there. So, we should know that God is one. God is not different. There cannot be any competition of God. Matta parakaram nanna kinchi jasti dhananja. There cannot be any superior truth than God. Therefore God is called the Great. God is called the Absolute. So, religion means, first class religion means, how the followers have developed the understanding of God. That is first class religion. Not that how many animals we can sacrifice or how many times So many rituals and so many other things are there in every religion. But we have to test by this result. Phalena parichiyate. Everything, just like we have studied so much in scientific math, but there is examination. If one passes the examination, then it is understood that he has studied nicely. That is our common sense. In his school, colleges, everywhere. If I cannot pass the examination, and if I advertise myself, I have studied this, I have studied that, so what is the value of it? Suppose a man is doing business. If we see that by doing business, he has acquired some money, has become rich, then we can understand that he is successful businessman. But if he is a poor man, and he says, I have done this, I have done that, I have done that, he can say so. But we want to know by the result. Phalena parichiyate, that is a Sanskrit version. But we have to understand by the result. Phalena, what result you have got? What the value of your examination paper is, how much mark you have received. Similarly, we can declare ourselves very religionist, great religionist, follower of great religion. But what is it? What is how much you have developed your sense of God consciousness? How much you have learned to love God? Just like in all Western countries, Lord Jesus Christ sacrificed his life for God. Then he was charged that he was preaching something blasphemy. But he was a devotee of God. He preached to the people that there is kingdom of God, you love God and go to the kingdom of God. Simple truth. That is the actual business of human life. This human life is meant for understanding God, because we are part and parcel of God, and we have forgotten. Just like the same thing, I have given several times example. A person, he belongs to a rich father, but somehow or other he has left home and is loitering. In your country, this example is very applicable. So many boys, they have left their rich father, rich family, and lying down on the street. And see, why? Maybe some reason. But he is not expected to lie down on the street because he has got rich father, at least rich nation, your American nation. Similarly, when we become puzzled and confused and want to live independently of God, the richest father, who can be richest than God? God means the richest. Nobody can be richer than him. That is another definition of God. Oisarjasya samagrasya bijasya jasasa sya jnana vairagayasya sara iti bhavangana. Bhava means fortune. One who is opulent with 6 kinds of fortunes. We can understand it very well. That's like in this material world, if one man is very rich, he is attracted. Everybody speaks about him. Even he is a nonsense number 1, if he has got money, everyone speaks about it. At least in this age it is going on. Nobody considers of anything, but if somehow or other one becomes very rich, he becomes a popular figure. So God must be richest. Here, within this material world, we can claim, I am richer than that, but somebody is richer than me. I cannot claim that nobody is richer than me. That is not possible. We shall find out less rich than me, and we can find out more rich than ourselves. Two things we can. But when you come to God, you will find nobody is richer than Him. Therefore God is called great. God is great. Similarly, not only in riches, Oisabja, sa samagrasa, bijasa, in power also. Oisabja sa samagrasa, bijasa, jasasa, in reputation also. In fame. Just like everyone. It may be you belong to some religion, I belong to, but everyone knows that God is great. That is reputation. Oisajasa, samagrasa, bijasa, jasasa, and Sri. Sri means beauty. God is the most beautiful. Just like, see Krishna here, we have got Krishna's figure here. How beautiful he is. God must be, he is young, always. An old man cannot become beautiful. That is stated in the Brahma Samhita. Advaita Yachyuta Anadi Ananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusa Navajovananja. That is the description. Adyam Purana, he is the original person, the oldest of all, but he is Navajovananja, just like a beautiful boy, say 16 or 20 years old. So that is beautiful, the most beautiful, and the most wise, jnana. Nobody can be wiser than God. These are the descriptions given by Parasar Muni, father of Vyasdev. Oisajjasya samagrasya bijasya jasasya sriya jnana vairagya, and at the same time renounced. Now God has created this universe. God has created a cosmic manifestation, innumerable universes. But He is not interested in it. He is interested, He is created, He has given us facility to live here. But He is not coming here to enjoy this. But He has got better. Or He doesn't care about all these opulences. That is another qualification. So, this human form of life is meant for understanding God and scientifically, with full knowledge. That is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore we are preaching this Bhagavad discourse. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, what is the nature of God? That has been described. Janmadasya jata annaya itaratascha artheshu avidya sarat. God is cognizant. He knows everything. He is a sentient being, not like a dead stone. If God is not sentient being, if God is not a person, how so many powerful persons, sentient persons coming from Him? If the father is not intelligent, how the sons and daughters can become intelligent? A dog cannot give birth to an intelligent person. A person who is intelligent, he can give birth to intelligent children. This is our practical experience. Therefore, this description of God, Oisajjasya samagrasya bijasya jasasya sriya, we should try to understand what is God. If you can find out a person who is superior in everything, in wealth, in strength, in beauty, in fame, in knowledge, in renouncement, he is God. Don't capture any fourth class God. If you are intelligent, try to understand what is the meaning of God and try to understand. So, here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that is first class religion. What is that? Which gives opportunity to the followers how to love God. Why should we not? If God is great, if our Father is so great, why should we not love? We flatter somebody here having a few millions of dollars, we flatter, and who is the richest of all, we should not love him. Why? What is the reason? And actually, he is supplying everything. Ego bhunang vidudhati kama. He is supplying all necessities of life to all living, beginning from the ant to the elephant. So why not to us? We have dedicated our whole life for the service of God. If God is giving food to the ant, to the elephant, why not to us? So don't think that you will starve in God consciousness. You will never starve. You go on with your duty, loving God and preaching love of God. You will always be opulent. Be sure. A ordinary man, if you work for him, he gives you salary, good salary. And we are working for God, we don't get salary. We must get. If you are really lover of God, worker for God, don't think of your economic condition. It will be support. In the Bhagavad Gita it is said, Yoga Khemam Mahamaham. He personally supplies whatever necessities are there. Just like a father, a small child who is completely dependent on the parents. The parents look after the comfort. The child does not ask the parents because he cannot speak out. So, he simply depending on God, simply depending on parents. Simply, if you simply depend on God, there is no question of your economic problem. Be sure. This is common sense. So there is scarcity of devotees of God at the present moment. People have rejected God. Somebody is saying God is dead. Somebody is accepting a rascal as God. Somebody is declaring himself as God. No. Try to understand God scientifically and become a devotee, a lover of God. Your life will be successful. That is Krishna consciousness movement. It is not that my God, your God, this religion, that religion. God is one and religion is one. What is that religion? Love of God. That's all. There is no other second religion. This is the religion. Therefore, God comes and says, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam saralam bhaja. This is religion. Don't be after so-called religion.
Prabhupada, who's Krishna?
Krishna is a historical personality, but he is the supreme personality of God. According to Vedic literature, we get information that God comes within all kinds of societies, not only human society, but in animal society also. And why does he come? When does he come? These descriptions and informations are there in the Vedic literature, very nicely. So one has to study. Sometimes people object that God cannot come as incarnation. But we don't agree to that point. If we say that God cannot come, that means God becomes subjected to our order. He is so great and independent that why he shall not come? If he likes, he can come. We don't agree to the philosophy that God cannot come. Why God cannot come? If he is actually the great, whatever he likes he can do. That is God's solution.
What is Krishna consciousness then?
Yes, that is very important. Krishna consciousness is described very nicely in the Bhagavad Gita. Perhaps you know Bhagavad Gita. I understand you are reading Bhagavad Gita. So, Bhagavad Gita is the guide how to become Krishna conscious. There is a statement by Krishna himself in the 9th chapter. Manmana bhavavad bhakta madhyaji mang namastu. Manmana, just always think of me, become my devotee, always think of me, manmana bhavavad bhakta, madhyaji, worship me, offer obeisances unto me. These are the different processes, how one can become Krishna conscious.
How does Krishna consciousness differ from other yoga systems?
Yoga system is also Krishna consciousness, but the modern yoga system is a different manufacture of the latest atheist class. They meditate upon something impersonal, void. That is very difficult. You cannot concentrate your mind on something void. That is simply troublesome. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Klesha adhikataras tesham abhakta sattva. Those who are attached to the impersonal, void feature of the absolute truth, their process is very troublesome. So, Krishna has got different features of his manifestation. The first feature is impersonal. The second feature is localized. And the third feature is localized by the Supreme. So, generally, the yogis, they try to concentrate on the impersonal. Actually, they should have concentrated on the localized feature. The localized feature is called Parama, and the impersonal feature is called Brahma, and the personal feature is called Bhagavan. That is explained very nicely in Srimad Bhagavatam. The absolute truth is one. Impersonal, personal and localized, the thing is one, but according to a different vision. In the beginning it is impersonal, further advanced it is localized, and further advanced it is personal. So, yoga system of the modern days, first of all I may say, most of them are not very bona fide. They are simply humbug. actual yoga system, Ashtanga Yoga, 8 different stages of practicing yoga is not possible at the present day.
What is the relationship between Christ and Krishna?
That is very simple to understand. Christ represented himself as Son of God, so we have no objection. That's the Son of God.
In the Bible, the Lord Christ said that the only way to worship God is through me.
Yes, that's fine, because unless you get association of a devotee, there is no question of God realization. So, Jesus Christ is a devotee, so one has to associate with the devotee before realizing God. But it is not that God has got only one devotee. If God is unlimited, He has unlimited devotees also. That is real philosophy. But the philosophy which was spoken by Lord Jesus Christ, that society was different from the society where Krishna appeared, or Krishna spoke, just like Krishna spoke to Arjuna, and Jesus Christ spoke to some Israel, the shepherds. It is a status of life and their understanding different. The representative of God speaks according to the circumstances, according to the country. So it was good for the people at that time. They should have concentrated through Jesus Christ.
Is this Krishna consciousness sectarian? Can anyone take it up? Can Christians take it up? Can Muslims take it up?
Yes, you can see practically. All our students here in the Western countries, they are mostly coming from Christian group, Greek group. And there are many Mohammedans also. And this Negro, all kinds of, everyone is welcome. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Although materially there is gradation of first class, second class, third class, human society. But Krishna is saying that anyone, man he patham the path, anyone who takes proper shelter of me. This is very important thing. Proper shelter means to take shelter of Krishna. But in the physically absence of Krishna, one has to take shelter of Krishna's real representative. Then anyone will understand this Krishna philosophy and will be elevated to the highest platform or understand.
Rolling. With what authority do you teach this Krishna consciousness?
I told you, Bhagavad Gita is authority. Just like when you go to the law court, you speak on the law.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma.
5,000 years ago in India, many saints and sages gathered on the banks of the sacred river Ganges. They came from throughout the world to witness the last 7 days in the life of the great devotee, King Parikshit. The king had renounced his fabulous wealth to dedicate his few remaining days to spiritual enlightenment. At that meeting, Sukadeva Goswami, the most exalted sage in the assembly, narrated the pastimes and teachings of Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He discussed all aspects of knowledge, from the creation of the material universe to the culture of spiritual life, and held the king and sages in rapt attention. His teachings, known as the Bhagavad Purana or Srimad Bhagavatam, were transcribed in the ancient Sanskrit language, and their glories are thus explained in the Bhagavat itself. This Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun and has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion and knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of this age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. Through the ages, these teachings about Lord Sri Krishna were transmitted intact from spiritual master to disciple. Shripad Madhvacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Goswamis of Vrindavan, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Sri Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, and in the early 20th century, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who ordered his disciples to preach Krishna consciousness around the world. He especially desired to distribute Krishna-conscious literature in the Western countries. His disciple, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, took this order as his very life. In 1966, he founded the International Society for Krishna Consciousness for Worldwide Preaching. Then, for worldwide publishing, he established the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. Srila Prabhupada himself is the author of all of the books. He has been acclaimed as the world's most distinguished scholar and teacher of Vedic philosophy and culture. While translating each Sanskrit verse, he refers to books of commentary by previous spiritual masters, and then gives a thorough explanation of the text.
Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives in this connection a description of the difference of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and ordinary living being. So this is difference of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and ordinary living being. This has been described in the previous verse, Sadbhang Puman Vida Gunang Sutadgyan Naveda Sadbhagyan Manantamire. The purport is that Supreme Lord, He is omnipotent, omniscient, He knows everything, but the living being does not know actually what is the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the difference between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and ordinary living being.
Now we will follow one verse as it journeys from translation by Srila Prabhupada through the process of book publication to its distribution around the world.
This Bhagavata Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana.
Navdeep Das, please report to graphic design. Navdeep Das. Damodar Prabhu, please pick up on line 40.
We require 100,000 copies. And on this reprint, we'd like 250,000.
Prabhu, this package just arrived by air freight from India.
Ah, Jai. This is the latest translation of Srimad Bhagavatam by our spiritual master. Prabhu, take this manuscript to the Sanskrit department and tell them it's first priority. And put a marker next to Srila Prabhupada's name.
Jai.
From the production manager, the manuscript goes to the Sanskrit department.
Krishna sudhamopagate dhanumagyanadhivisaha.
Here we see that the ancient script has been rendered into Roman letters. The editor is adding diacritical marks as a guide to pronunciation.
This Bhagavat Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to captivate his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc., period.
An English editor now checks the manuscript for proper punctuation, grammar, and spelling. He dictates the corrected text onto a tape.
Paragraph, Lord Sri Krishna has captivate his eternal Dhamma, or abode, where captivate he eternally enjoys captivate himself, with captivate his eternal associates and paraphernalia, period.
His recording is then transcribed. In the composing room, devotees retype the text on computerized machines that transfer each typed letter into an electronic code. The codes are recorded on magnetic tape, and any language can be composed in this way. The tape, with its coded information, is now fed into an electronic computer. The coded impulses from the tape are stored in the computer's memory bank. Then the computer activates a photo typesetter. The typesetter converts the stored codes into light-sensitive impressions on photographic paper. When the paper is developed in a processor, the resulting image looks exactly as it will appear in the finished book. typesetting machine can run off more than 2,000 characters per minute. At this rate, the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, as Sukadeva Goswami first spoke it, could be reproduced in 24 hours. The layout man cuts the photographic paper to page size and mounts it on artboard. Next, the page is photographed on a reproduction camera. The retoucher removes any blemishes from the negative. Before the book is printed, blueprints are made of all the negatives, and the blueprints are carefully proofread. Meanwhile, during this entire operation, the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust artists illustrate verses and purports from the pages of the Bhagavatam. They begin with pencil sketches, portraying the scenes exactly as they are written. These sketches are sent to Srila Prabhupada for approval and then traced on canvas. With great care and devotion, oils are applied. The artists have to work quickly to keep pace with modern book production techniques. This painting, for instance, took only 2 weeks to complete. For reproduction, the finished painting is photographed with a special studio camera. A reading on a color analyzer assures that the colors are correctly balanced on the final print. The devotee technician programs a computer processor which automatically develops the print. Next, the picture goes to the layout department, where it is scaled to the proper size. The book is now ready to print. At this point, page proofs are checked for accurate color reproduction. After being printed, the books are stored at the BBT warehouse in Los Angeles. From there, they are shipped throughout the world.
Volume 1, 25,000, Volume 2, 28,000, Volume 3. Well, with this issue, we have to put 3 pallets aside for Africa, between Nairobi and Johannesburg.
Devotees load thousands of books into special air containers to jet freight rush orders within 24 hours. The narrations concerning the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, are the oldest writings known to man. Over generations, they have influenced civilizations in both the East and the West. Now, under Srila Prabhupada's guidance, the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust has become the world's largest publisher and distributor of these spiritual classics. In English language editions alone, the Book Trust has sold 30 million magazines and 10 million books. Its greatest undertaking is the continuing publication of the 60-volume Srimad Bhagavatam, the essence of all spiritual and material knowledge. The ultimate source of everything that be is explained rationally and authoritatively in the beautiful Bhagavatam. Therefore, it is the transcendental science meant for the re-spiritualization of the entire human society. Another publication of major importance is the 17-volume Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. The original Bengali verses, translated and explained by Srila Prabhupada, describe the life and teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself, appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to deliver the easiest and most sublime process for self-realization in this age. These books offer original Sanskrit and Bengali texts, Roman transliterations, word-for-word English synonyms, concise translations, and readable purports by Srila Prabhupada. They also feature detailed glossaries, general indexes, verse indexes, pronunciation guides, and original full-color paintings and photographs. Also published by the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust are a number of shorter works in cloth and paper editions. In 1944, Srila Prabhupada started publishing Back to Godhead magazine in India. Now his disciples are continuing this work in many other countries. The English language edition has a monthly circulation of 1 million copies, making it the West's most popular periodical on Vedic philosophy and culture. His Divine Grace is the spiritual master of a worldwide movement, and his books have thus been translated into 15 major languages, including Spanish, French, German, Chinese, Japanese, Italian, Swedish, Dutch, Portuguese, Polish, Swahili, Gujarati, Hindi, and Bengali. Bhagavad Gita, as it is the Western world's best-selling and most widely used edition of India's greatest religious classic. Nearly 1 million copies of the English edition have been sold. Srila Prabhupada's books are studied in universities and colleges throughout the world. In America alone, 90% of the colleges and universities have already ordered these books for their students, professors, and libraries. Harvard, Yale, and Oxford lead the list of prestigious schools that have placed standing orders for all 17 volumes of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and the entire 60-volume set of Srimad Bhagavatam. Throughout the world, scholars glorify Srila Prabhupada's writings. Dr. J. Bruce Long of Cornell University praised Srila Prabhupada's works as a cause for celebration. And Dr. Daniel H. Ingalls of Harvard said, "I am most happy to have these handsomely printed volumes." Dr. Gary Gillade of Oxford University wrote, "This is a work to be treasured. The spirit of its message shines brightly from the pages." Devotees at the temples of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness study their spiritual master's books daily. They have dedicated their lives to presenting the teachings of Krishna consciousness to the entire human society.
Krishna Kirtana Ganana Pranava
Sure. Oh, wonderful. I'm from the Krishna Temple, and on the request of my spiritual master, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta SWAMI Prabhupada, we're making these ancient books on transcendental knowledge available to the people here in the West. This is the history of the life and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. I'll show you one verse which, is very good, gives a basic idea of the book. It says, this Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun. And it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness in this age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. Actually, I don't think anybody here in the West has spiritual master in the church.
And this sublime and easy system of yoga, which is called bhakti yoga, is approved by all the great acharyas or the religious leaders of India, like Ramanujacharya, Madhyacharya, Vishnu Swami, Nimbarka, and later on Lord Chaitanya. So this is a standard method and recommended in Vedic scripture. This simple vibration can deliver the people of this age to salvation.